So the word on the street is that these things, laser welders, are the future of fabrication. And so I'm told. This machine right here in this box may well just replace my MIG welder and my trusty TIG welder. Well, that's a very bold statement, but in this series, we're going to find out, are laser welders as good as they make out? We're going to test this X-Tool 1200 watt laser welder machine. Let's get it. It absolutely rips. Handmade right here in the UK, in my shop. Welcome to NAWFABZ. Well, firstly, credit to X-Tool on the packaging. This thing came amazingly packaged on a nice pallet. All the packaging is nicely put together with foam inserts to protect it from damage, so hats off to that one. Now, if you're not sure what X-Tool are, check out the website after you've watched this series. They are doing some amazing equipment at the moment, probably leading the industry for affordable laser equipment for small businesses. And if this machine's as good as it's supposed to be, this may well change my business altogether. So then, that's the machine completely unboxed, everything's put together. Real world installation time of everything, I'd probably say this took me 30 minutes, that's including reading the instructions. Now, I'm guessing if you are watching this video, you're probably into welding, you've probably put a few welders together in the past. Installation of all the components on this is no different from any other welder, I'll be honest with you, but I did spend a little bit of time to read through the instructions, as in the wrong hands this could be a really dangerous machine. Lasers are very, very dangerous, so yeah, it's not very often I do read through some instructions, but on this machine I've had a quick flick through just to make sure I've got things all connected up correctly, and it looks like I have. Now, I haven't powered the machine yet, but I'm not seeing any buttons, so to me it looks like this entire thing is going to be a touchscreen display, which is cool as hell. That is going to look spot on. So we need to power this thing up. Now, reading through the instructions, I do know we need to perform some calibrations. I'm not going to cover them on this part of the video, otherwise it's just going to make the whole thing long. That's going to be self-explanatory. Follow the instructions, do the calibration. So, what I am going to show you though, I am going to power it up. The last few things we've got in the package, some X-Tool gloves, nice, we'll use them. Bits of plate, consumables, glasses, and some Q-tips or earbuds, whatever you want to call them. Reading through the instructions, they are for cleaning the laser lenses, so yeah, we'll not need to do them for this. That's more of a maintenance thing. And we've also got the rust removal tool, which we're going to get to later in the series. I'm just going to leave that in the box for now. Let's power this baby up. Let's have a look what she looks like. So are we ready to see the X-Tool power up for the first time? Let's flick the switch. We have power. Ooh, look at that. Sorry, the lights are terrible here, it's very blinding. I'll try and block them out a bit. Colour display, very cool. It's not quiet. Right, then we need to select English. Ooh, got a beep. English. We want things in millimetres because I like to work in millimetres, but you can have it in inches if you like imperial. Millimetres. Right, so this is now where I'm going to need to do the tool registration or activation and the calibration. So I'll do that now and I'll come back to you in a second, and then we'll get it connected up to the argon gas as well. So before it will give you the password for the machine, you do have to watch a safety video, so better watch it. So before we get to welding, let me just show you a little bit on this interface. It is actually pretty nice. So it's separated into segments, so you've got weld, you've got clean, or you've got cut. Then you've got standard mode for noobs like me, so you just simply want to go on weld, select your material, select your thickness, and yeah, just select your wire diameter. Pretty straightforward, to be honest, so yeah. And then if you want to go a little bit more in depth and you want to click advanced mode, that's when things start getting a bit trickier. Here you can play with laser power individually, you can play with like your scan width, so you can play with the width of the weld, the scan frequency. We've also got functions like pulse welding, tack welding. So there's absolutely tons of features, and it doesn't end there. That's just on advanced mode. If you want to go one step further, you click professional mode, And then we get a whole host of options what you can play with. Again, seam welding, pulse welding, tack welding. I'm going to be honest, for the moment, until I get to grips with this machine, we're just going to be using the basic thing. Now, you can save jobs, so let's say you go on advanced mode and you do change some settings or whatever, you can, when you save it, it comes through here into your technique library. Got machine status, what shows you your gas pressure. Obviously, at the moment, I haven't got the gas line hooked up, so it's not showing anything. It gives you the status of the machine, system settings, and that's just basically all the machine information. You can change the language and millimeters, what we set earlier on. Yeah, here you've got two other things. You've got the wire feeder. At the moment it's red because it's not plugged in yet, and we've got the safety interlock loop. That's the little earth clamp that you clip on to your workpiece. So all in all, very impressive interface. Nice color screen, very user friendly. The touchscreen is great, very responsive. Absolutely smashing bit of kit so far. Alright then folks, we've got this baby wired up. I've watched my safety video. I am officially a professional laser welder. Last thing to do is get my safety specs on, and let's see if we can get a weld out of this thing. Now, this is the very first time I've ever held a laser welder, let alone pulled the trigger on one. Looks like a ray gun off of Fallout. Let's see if this sucker will weld. I have no idea what's going to happen here, folks. I have never ever tried to weld with a laser welder. I don't even know how to hold the thing. Right, see if I can get a tack initially. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. Well, it tacked it. A little grey. I don't know if my gas settings are off or what, but let's try that again. Christ, it's powerful. That went straight through. That went straight through the plate. Jesus. That sucker's powerful. I didn't expect that. Right. Here goes. Let's try and run a weld. That's way too high. That's going straight through the plate. That's way too high. Let me turn power down a minute. Let's try that. Turn it down a little bit. I said it was 3mm plate. Looking at that, might not actually be 3mm plate. That's probably 2mm plate. Yeah, it was literally going straight through it. Let's try that again. I'm welding. I'll tell you now, it ain't pretty. My very first laser weld, people. Let me bring you in close. Let me show you. It is. It ain't pretty, but we're gonna work on it. Check it out. Now, for those of you that watch my channel will know that is not a patch on my TIG work. Looks like a horrible MIG weld at the moment, but that's probably not a issue with the welder. This is the first time I've ever even tried a laser welder, so I'm probably gonna have to dial some settings in. It's like learning to weld all over again, and it feels so strange. It feels so weird to use it. Let's keep playing, and let's see what we can do. I'm gonna finish that weld first of all, and then we're gonna have a little play with some settings, see if we can get that to look a little bit nicer. I can tell you one thing, it's not easy. It's not easy as a first time having a go. They can hear the machine fans come on. It's not easy. It is very much like, this glasses won't stay up. It is very much like learning to weld again for the very first time. It's a very different process to MIG. It's a very different process to TIG. It's very strange. But I feel like towards the end of that weld there, we were getting a little bit of gold colour in it. So yeah, probably down to my speed, probably down to my gas settings. A few tweaks, and I think we'll get this looking something like. So yeah, I'm going to keep having a little bit of a play. Let's flip that round and let's see. Let's see what it looks like on the other side. I think it's just down to getting the speed. I think I'm going too slow. Maybe not. I definitely need to dial these settings in. As I say, I'm not a laser welder. It's bloody glasses. I'm not a laser welder. Every time I lift them up, they fall back down. I feel like the wire speed is way too slow, so I'm gonna have to have a little bit of a play. I'm gonna switch you guys off slightly, shortly. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna switch you guys off briefly. I'm gonna have a little play, try and get these settings dialed in, see if we can get an actual nice weld out of this, because this is a me problem, not a welder problem. You ready? They're gonna fall in a second. Be back in a second. You can see it was my first ever attempt at a laser weld. It looks disgusting, as you can see, but after 5 minutes and a few setting tweaks, we've gone from that to that. Now that is looking more like it. That is kind of looking a lot better. You can see there, right in the middle, I had a bit of a mess up. I started going off track a little bit. I had to come back and go back in again. But there you can see the difference in 5 minutes from that to that. Pretty nice. You can see at the bottom, everything was starting out terrible and it was getting better and better and better towards the top, where I was starting to get a feel for how the machine works and how you handle the machine and how you almost let the wire feeder push the welder back rather than you pushing it manually. You can see there we were getting some welds, although a little grey. We worked on that a little bit more, played with the gas settings, and yeah, shortly after that you can see we was getting nice gold consistent welds, although a little bit cold, so we worked on it a little bit further and a little bit further, and you can see here now we are getting beautiful, straight, clean welds on. This is a set of tips. This is. I just thought we'd have a go at running around some tube, and it came out absolutely beautiful. Now this is only around 30 minutes, 40 minutes practice. Bear in mind this is my first ever time using a laser welder. So if you are a complete novice like I am, be prepared to put in a little bit of time, a little bit of seat time, get used to how the machine works. But by the end of it, you're going to have stunning welds like this, and the speed is incredibly fast. What's next? We know that the machine welds, and it's very different to me. It's tricky to get used to, and it's damn bright. And I'll tell you one thing: the laser on this is incredibly powerful for such a small machine. This thing is incredibly powerful. I'll tell you a little secret. At 1 minute, I got the power a little bit too high. The laser beam went straight through the plate, and it hit the wood bench behind it. And I've seen the bench start smoking. So these are not a toy. These are not something to be messed with. You do need to be really, really careful when you're using these. The power of this thing in your hands is insane. As I say, straight through the plate, straight into the wood bench. I was like, wow. Yeah, and yeah, probably not best to be welding in shorts like I am doing. So do use your PPE, folks. Do use your PPE. Be very, very careful with this. It is not a toy. This is a serious, serious bit of kit. So I think we're gonna do a bit of cutting next. Changing the nozzle is fairly simple, I think. We can get rid of the wire feed for now, because we are no longer going to require wire feed for cutting. So we'll put that out of the way for the moment. We'll wrap that up very shortly. Now the nozzle itself has got little numbers on it. Now you do have to calibrate the focal length in the machine, and mine is set to +1. So I don't think I'll be able to show you on there. If you can see we've got numbers on there, mine +5 to -5. We need to set mine on +1, as I'm assuming that's where the machine has been calibrated to. So yep, that just pulls out, dead easy. And I'm assuming that one just goes straight back in there, and then we just need to set it to +1, which is there. As far as I'm concerned, that's now a laser cutter. Quite scared. This is a scary machine, honestly. This thing is, I'm shocked at how powerful it is. I genuinely thought this was going to be a bit of a gimmick, a bit of a toy. I can tell you now, the X-Tool is no joke. I'm going to coil up the wire feeder. I'm going to get a bit of steel, and we're going to see if this thing cuts. I'm excited and scared at the same time. Well, carbon steel is literally like butter. I was just cutting some shapes out. Let's try again. Truly like butter on that. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. The kerf on it is so thin, it's unbelievable. A lot better than a plasma cutter. And obviously I didn't go right to the edges, but yeah, cutting shapes on that. Very minimal dross on the back. Again, I think it's down to my hand speed, the bit that I am getting. But does it cut? Yes, it cuts. That's somewhat. That's 1.5mm mild steel. Absolutely like butter it is. So if you're interested in this for stuff like car body panels, that sort of repair, this is a lot cleaner than what a plasma cutter is. It's a lot less noisy than an air nibbler. It's a lot cleaner and a lot more efficient than a grinder. For cutting out shapes in a panel, game changer. I just found some 8mm aluminium down here. Will it cut aluminium? 8mm? You know what to do. Let's give it a go. 8mm thick aluminium. Will the X-Tool cut it? Let's find out. Are we ready? Right, so here I've got a little bit of a confession to make. In the instructions, it does tell you very vividly, do not put the earth clamp on the head of the torch. The reason I have done here is I was having a few issues with earthing on this mucky plate. It wouldn't earth properly on the plate because it's so dirty. I didn't really want to clean it up, so I was a little bit naughty and I clipped the earth onto the head. The reason they tell you not to do this is it's a safety issue. Without the earth clipped on that, you can fire the laser at the wall or at other people. Don't do it, people. This was just for demonstration. And don't forget, I am a trained professional. This thing's mental. I don't know if you can see, it sets everything under bench on fire. I need some sort of table for cutting with this thing because it just goes through the plate and it just starts burning everything underneath the bench, the floor, the boxes. It just melts everything in its path. Now here yet again, I'd like to point out a mistake on my part. I'm using the machine on the cutting section, but I'm using it in manual mode. Rather than selecting the material and the material thickness, I was just using this in manual mode and just adjusting the power on manual. Again, this is a mistake on my part. The machine would be a lot less powerful if I actually selected the correct material and the correct thickness, but rather than absolutely polishing this episode into something it's not, I thought I'd leave this in. This is a learning curve that I faced, and probably a lot of you guys, if you do buy this machine, are going to face as well. So I feel like this is an organic video and it's natural. I wanted to leave all these mess ups in there so you can see this machine for what it is and you can see the mistakes that I made. But yeah, if you select the material thickness and the material you're cutting, the power is a lot more dialed in and you probably won't cut the bench or the flooring off. I do need some sort of designated cut table for this. I need to come up with something for this. It can't stay as it is, otherwise I'm going to burn the garage down with it. Did it cut through the aluminium? Like butter. 8mm thick aluminium like butter. What a machine, boys. What a machine. No dross. What a machine. Right, I'm done playing with cutter. Rust removal. So does it cut? Yes, it does. We're going to delve a bit more into cutting in the later videos, but for now, let's wrap that up on cutting. It cuts. We do need to play with settings a little bit. So, last thing to do a quick demo on. Rust removal. Does it remove rust? Let's find out. So for rust removal, we got the actual rust remover head, which came with the set. And then it comes with the narrow head, which is also a rust remover. Now that one is what we took out earlier with the numbers on it. We need to put that one back in. We'll give the small one a go first, and then we'll get the big daddy one on there. And this piece of sheet here is absolutely perfect because it's covered in rust, so let's see how we get on. Pop that back in there. I'll tell you, this machine scares me. I've seen how powerful it is, so it scares me. So we want to be on +1 on that. Essentially all we need to do now is tell the machine we're on cleaning mode and bzz, go at it, I think. Oh, yeah, big, put that. That is unbelievably good. Let me bring you close to show you that close up. I don't know who were cutting that out or what that was supposed to be when they were cutting it out, but that is damn good. That gets that steel back clean, and that is horrible. Look at the rust on that, it's horrible. That gets it back super clean, and that's just one pass. That is amazing. Really, really pleased with that. So that's just the small one. We do have the big head, so I think let's rig up that big head and let's see what that one's about. So if you're still interested in this machine, coming up in part 2, we're going to do MIG versus TIG versus laser. We're going to do grinder versus laser rust remover, and much more. We're going to test this machine much more in depth. Right there for you. Click that box right there and join me in part 2, where we're going to test this machine a little bit more and a little bit more in depth. We'll see you there. Right there. Click it.